Big news has now arrived on Gunners. You want to know all the details, so follow me until the end of the video. But first, if you are in love with Arsenal, show your love and subscribe to THE channel now and turn on notifications. Here we post daily news and behind the scenes of the biggest club in THE Premier League, Arsenal. Thank you.
Arsenal lineup versus Sunderland. Mikel Merino's role under review as Eberechi shifts position. Arsenal are back in Premier League action this Saturday, taking on Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. Mikel Arteta's side are in outstanding form, and the manager faces several key selection decisions ahead of the match. With Liverpool and Manchester City set to clash later in the weekend, the Gunners have a golden opportunity to extend their lead over at least one of their main title rivals. Victory over the Black Cats could prove crucial in the early stages of the season. Gabriel Jesus was spotted in training but may not yet be ready for full involvement, while the absence of Victor Gyökeres means that Mikel Merino will again draw attention as the focal point of Arsenal's midfield. Arteta also faces an emotional reunion with former gunner Granit Xhaka, now thriving elsewhere in the league. As the international break approaches, rotation could be on the agenda, giving Arteta the chance to manage workloads and experiment tactically without losing momentum. Tom Canton's predicted 11. There's one major reason I'm particularly excited about the imminent return of Martin Odegaard. It frees up Eberechi to move back out to the left. Arsenal simply look more fluid and dangerous when Ease operates from that side. When he's played centrally against compact defensive setups, he hasn't been quite as effective as the captain. I considered starting young Ethan Nwaneri, but his struggles in Prague suggest this may not be the right fixture for him. And with Leandro Trossard in sensational form, fresh off another assist in midweek, there's no way he can be left out. Elsewhere, most of the lineup practically picks itself. Players like Piero Hincapié and Christian Norgård are expected to make way for the regular starters. This will be an important match for Mikel Merino, but with Gabriel Jesus returning to training, the competition for attacking minutes will soon intensify. Canton's predicted Arsenal 11 vs Sunderland. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Ease, Soccer, Merino, Trossard. Ryan Taylor's predicted 11. Arsenal won't underestimate Sunderland, not with a new defensive record on the line. The Gunners' back five almost selects itself, while Declan Rice is expected to be joined in midfield by Martin Zubimendi and Eberechi. Mikel Merino should retain his role as the creative heartbeat through the middle, supported by Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard on the flanks. While Piero Hincapié impressed at left-back during the midweek trip to Prague, Riccardo Calafiori remains the likely starter given his growing influence in Arteta's system. Despite a few absences, Arsenal's depth continues to shine. Several key players are set to return after the international break, giving Arteta even more options as the season intensifies. Taylor's predicted Arsenal 11 vs Sunderland. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Ease, Soccer, Merino, Trossard. Kieran King's analysis. Arsenal's visit to Sunderland could quietly prove to be one of the toughest tests of the campaign. The Black Cats remain unbeaten at home since their Premier League return and currently sit fourth in the table after 10 matches. Even so, the Gunners arrive in unstoppable form. 10 consecutive wins in all competitions and 8 straight clean sheets speak volumes about their balance and consistency. With that in mind, Arteta is expected to stick largely with the lineup that dismantled Burnley last weekend, with Victor Gyökeres ruled out through injury. David Raya will start behind a defensive line of Jurrien Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Riccardo Calafiori. The midfield trio of Martin Zubimendi, Declan Rice, and Eberechi will again form the engine room, while Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard will provide the width. Mikel Merino is likely to continue through the centre in Gyökeres' absence, a role that not only showcases his intelligence and timing but also offers Arsenal an alternative attacking dynamic. King's predicted Arsenal 11 vs Sunderland. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Ease, Soccer, Merino, Trossard. Final outlook. This match represents more than just another Premier League fixture. It's a chance for Arsenal to prove their depth, adaptability, and title credentials. Sunderland have been fearless at home, but Arteta's men, even without key players, look poised to maintain their dominant run. If Ease can rediscover his spark on the left and Merino continues to anchor the attack, the Gunners may once again show why they are serious contenders for silverware this season. What's at stake and tactical ripples ahead? For Mikel Arteta, This weekend's clash carries far more significance than just 3 points. With Liverpool and Manchester City set to take points off each other, the Arsenal manager knows that victory in Sunderland could give his side an early psychological edge in the title race. Arteta's recent comments suggest that he views consistency, not just brilliance, as the foundation for success this season. "We've been building rhythm and understanding," he said after the midweek win in Prague. "But the next step is sustaining it, especially away from home." Arsenal's resilience on the road has indeed been impressive. They've conceded just 1 goal in their last 6 away fixtures, showing the kind of defensive stability that defined last season's title contenders. The current run of 8 consecutive clean sheets underlines the team's collective discipline, from David Raya's commanding goal to the growing chemistry between William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. Still, Sunderland's home record cannot be ignored. The Black Cats have been a revelation since their Premier League return, and their high-pressing style under manager Tony Mowbray has troubled several top sides. Arsenal will need to be sharp in transition, particularly with Sunderland's wingers exploiting space behind the fullbacks. That's where Eberechi's positional switch becomes key. Operating from the left, Ease not only adds unpredictability but also provides an extra creative outlet when Arsenal look to bypass tight defensive lines. His link-up with Leandro Trossard and Declan Rice has added a new rhythm to Arteta's attacking structure. Meanwhile, Mikel Merino's adaptation continues to draw praise from inside the dressing room. Signed to strengthen Arsenal's central creativity, the Spanish international has blended seamlessly into the squad, offering the kind of movement and control that complements Rice's defensive reliability. His duel with Sunderland's energetic midfield could decide the tone of the match. Depth and development. Beyond the immediate fixture, Arteta's rotation strategy has also become a focal point. With a demanding winter schedule approaching, players like Ethan Nwaneri, Jakub Kiwior, and Fabio Vieira are expected to see more minutes in domestic cup and European fixtures. Arteta has been cautious yet deliberate in integrating younger players, a balance between developing future stars and maintaining the high standards expected of a title-challenging side. The return of Gabriel Jesus adds another dimension. Although not yet match-fit, his presence in training has lifted the group, reminding everyone of the attacking energy and movement Arsenal gain with him in the lineup. Jesus' recovery also raises tactical questions. Will Merino shift back into midfield when the Brazilian returns, or has he earned an extended run as a false 9? For now, the focus remains on maintaining momentum. Arsenal's flawless record over the past month has re-established them as one of the most complete teams in England, disciplined at the back, creative in midfield, and ruthless in front of goal. Broader implications for the title race. The Premier League table remains tight, but Arsenal's recent consistency has turned quiet optimism into genuine belief. A win at Sunderland would mark their 11th consecutive victory across all competitions, a run that could send a clear message to their rivals. This Arsenal side has learned how to sustain success, not just chase it. With Manchester City and Liverpool both expected to drop points in their upcoming head-to-head, the Gunners could find themselves sitting comfortably at the top by the international break. That kind of psychological advantage, especially before the festive fixture congestion, could prove invaluable in the long run. Arteta, however, refuses to get carried away. The table in November doesn't matter, he said earlier this week. What matters is how we improve every week, how we respond when things get difficult. His words reflect a maturity that has filtered through the entire squad. Arsenal are no longer chasing validation. They are demanding excellence from themselves. Looking ahead. After the Sunderland match, Arsenal will enter a crucial stretch of fixtures, including league encounters against Newcastle and Aston Villa, and European games that could decide group stage seeding. The rotation choices made now, including how Ease and Merino are used, could have long-term tactical consequences. If Arteta's men manage to keep their winning streak alive heading into the international break, it will not only solidify their place among the league's elite but also reinforce the belief that this team has the balance, depth, and mentality to go the distance this time. Granit Xhaka reveals whether he'll celebrate against Arsenal if he scores for Sunderland. Granit Xhaka is preparing for an emotional reunion this Saturday evening, 5:30 p.m. kickoff, when Sunderland host Arsenal in the Premier League. The Swiss international has made it clear, however, that there will be no celebration if he finds the back of the net against his former club. The 33-year-old midfielder, who spent 7 years in North London, will face the Gunners for the first time since leaving the Emirates to join Bayer Leverkusen in the summer of 2023. Now a key figure in Sunderland's resurgence, Xhaka remains deeply connected to Arsenal and to the part he played in Mikel Arteta's early rebuilding years. Speaking to Stan Sport ahead of the matchup, Xhaka explained his reasoning with characteristic honesty. "I definitely won't celebrate," he said. "I spent 7 years at that football club, and I had so many great moments there. Out of respect for Arsenal, I just couldn't do that." Xhaka acknowledged that the emotions will still be running high, particularly inside the Sunderland dressing room. "Of course, there will be a lot of emotion because beating Arsenal would mean a lot to us. Especially considering the form they're in right now. They're a very strong side, a very good team. We know what we're up against. But we're excited, we'll take it step by step, and we'll keep improving in the areas where we need to be really, really good." Xhaka made 297 appearances for Arsenal, scoring 23 goals and wearing the captain's armband during some of the club's most transformative years. His leadership, resilience, and technical quality helped shape the identity of Arteta's early Arsenal sides. Heading into the weekend, Sunderland sit an impressive 4th in the Premier League table. Remarkably, a victory over Arsenal would close the gap to just 4 points behind the league leaders, a statement result for a newly promoted side that has defied all expectations this season. Arteta pays tribute to his former captain. Ahead of the game, Mikel Arteta spoke warmly about Xhaka's impact during his time in North London, calling him a player and person who helped transform the club's culture. "I loved every single minute that we worked together," Arteta said. "When he joined us, he was in a very particular moment in his life and career. He made me a better coach, he helped us grow as a football team and as a club, and for that, I'll always be grateful." Arteta and Xhaka's relationship evolved significantly during their time together. What began with tension in the final years of Arsene Wenger's tenure turned into mutual respect and professional admiration. Under Arteta, Xhaka reinvented himself, transitioning from a polarizing figure to a key leader and symbol of the team's maturity. Now, as opponents, both men will find themselves on opposite sides of an emotional night that could have major implications for the Premier League standings. Arsenal's historic run. While Sunderland chase a statement win, Arsenal arrive with a chance to make English football history. A clean sheet on Saturday would make them the first English side ever to win 9 consecutive matches in all competitions without conceding a single goal. Their defensive stability has been the cornerstone of their recent dominance, anchored by the partnership of William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, with Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi shielding the backline. Still, Arteta knows that Sunderland, energized by Xhaka's leadership and a passionate home crowd, will be anything but an easy opponent. The reunion may be full of sentiment, but for both sides, the stakes are entirely professional, and potentially pivotal in shaping the months ahead. Tactical implications and emotional undercurrents. Saturday's clash between Sunderland and Arsenal is more than just a routine Premier League fixture. It represents a meeting of two footballing philosophies, one built on youthful precision and pressing, the other on experience, resilience, and tactical organization. And in the center of it all stands Granit Xhaka, the bridge between Arsenal's past and Sunderland's present. Mikel Arteta knows better than anyone what Xhaka brings to a midfield battle. His understanding of tempo, positioning, and transition control could prove critical against Arsenal's high-energy pressing game. Sunderland's recent form has been built on discipline and compactness, with Xhaka orchestrating play from deep, dictating rhythm and tempo much as he once did at the Emirates. For Arsenal, the challenge will be maintaining the intensity and structure that have defined their near-perfect start to the season. The Gunners have conceded just 3 league goals in 10 matches, a testament to how effectively Arteta's system compresses space and limits opponents' creativity. Yet Xhaka's ability to switch play and exploit wide areas could test the defensive line in new ways. Sources close to the Sunderland camp have suggested that manager Tony Mowbray sees this game as a litmus test, not just of his side's tactical progress, but of their psychological readiness to compete with the league's elite. Internally, there's a quiet belief that a result against Arsenal could validate their impressive start and strengthen their European ambitions. The Arsenal perspective. Inside the Arsenal dressing room, the respect for Xhaka remains deep. Several current players, including Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Martin Odegaard, have spoken publicly about the influence the Swiss midfielder had on their development. Odegaard, who succeeded Xhaka as a senior leader in the squad, acknowledged earlier this week that facing him will be strange but special. "He taught us a lot about professionalism and mentality," Odegaard told reporters. "When he speaks about the game, you listen. We all know how competitive he is, so we'll have to be sharp. But there's a lot of respect there, always." That mutual respect adds a unique emotional layer to the encounter. Arteta's current team embodies many of the values that Xhaka helped instill: accountability, intensity, and unity. His departure marked the end of one era, but also the beginning of another that continues to shape Arsenal's identity today. A match with broader repercussions. From a league perspective, the result could have serious implications for both clubs. For Arsenal, maintaining their flawless defensive record and extending their winning streak to 9 consecutive matches without conceding would further solidify their position at the top, a statement of intent heading into the international break. For Sunderland, the match is an opportunity to confirm that their resurgence is not a temporary surge but the result of deliberate, sustainable growth. Sitting fourth in the table, they have already surpassed early season expectations, and a positive result would thrust them firmly into the European conversation. Analysts have noted that Xhaka's leadership has been central to Sunderland's identity this season, particularly in how the team has managed tight games and late leads. His experience in title races and European competition has given Mowbray's side a sense of calm and control that many newly promoted clubs lack. Emotional reunion. Professional focus. Despite the clear emotional weight surrounding Xhaka's reunion with Arsenal, both camps have been careful to keep focus on the competitive stakes. Arteta emphasized that while he values his connection with the Swiss midfielder, sentiment cannot overshadow the importance of the match. "We'll always have great memories together," Arteta said during his pre-match press conference. "But on Saturday, we're both representing different clubs, fighting for points that matter. Once the whistle blows, it's about the football." That shared professionalism reflects how far both men, and both clubs, have come since their last chapter together. Arsenal, now a disciplined contender with depth and identity, and Sunderland, rejuvenated under Mowbray with Xhaka at its core, are two sides united by evolution. When the teams walk out under the lights at the Stadium of Light, the atmosphere is expected to be electric. The applause for Xhaka will likely be genuine, a nod to his contributions and transformation, but once the game begins, emotion will give way to intensity. For Arsenal, it's a chance to make history. For Sunderland, it's a chance to prove they belong among the elite. And for Granit Xhaka, it's an evening that will test both his heart and his competitive fire. One last reminder of how football's past and present so often collide on the same field.